got some time, catch this and run with it. Trust me, son, you haven't lived until you live with a mindset of heaven is. And I'll be telling kids, Christ is the king. I'll do many times, so don't get big time to think on these things. Trust me, son, you haven't lived until you live with the mindset of heaven gives. And I'll be telling kids.
Welcome to the greatest, latest, baddest, maddest show of shows, the Washington Commanders Football Show. Facts, history, and news. I am your host, Football Freak Friday. Welcome back to another primetime edition of the Washington Commanders Football Show. We have a good show for you this week. We have part 2 coming Saturday. We're going to take a look at the defensive line. Today, we're going to go over the Washington Commanders 2025 schedule, my predictions, my score predictions of every game this season, and also we have the schedule for preseason, which just recently came out. We're going to go over that right now. So, the preseason schedule is as follows. August 8th, the Washington Commanders will play at 7:30 p.m. on August 8th. They're going to play the New England Patriots. August 18th, it'll be a Monday night football game at 8 p.m. The Washington Commanders are going to play the Cincinnati Bengals, a rematch from last year's game. And August 23rd at noon, on August 23rd on WUSA 9 CBS, the Washington Commanders will play the Baltimore Ravens. They usually play them once a year, usually. They usually schedule the Battle of the Beltway between the Commanders and the Ravens. They usually schedule that every year during preseason. Okay. Facts, history, and news. What's the latest in the news? Terry McLaurin, wide receiver, number 1 wide receiver for the Washington Commanders. Terry McLaurin signed a new 3-year deal worth $130 million. And I think he's guaranteed $60 million of it. $60 million. So Terry McLaurin, wide receiver, number 17, touchdown Terry, scary Terry as we call him, signed a new 3-year deal worth $130 million. Okay. So before we move on, let's take a commercial break. Do you like lemon juice? I like lemon juice. Forelli lemon juice. Now, lemon juice is good to freshen the breath, for sure. But also, we don't quite know what it does. So, let's take a sip of this lemon juice and see what it does. Forelli 100% lemon juice. Freshens the breath and makes you talk funny like you've been sucking on helium from balloons. Back to the show. All right, so let's go to our facts portion of our show. We're going to go over the top 5 running backs in Washington Commanders history. Top 5 running backs in Washington Commanders history. Do you know who they are? If not, I have a list here. Number 1, number 44, John Riggins, holds the franchise record. 7,472 yards. Clinton Portis comes in at number 2, the number 2 running back in Washington history. Clinton Portis was number 26. He played during the early 2000s, and he is second on the list, and he accumulated 6,824 yards on the ground. Clinton Portis was a game changer, was a great cutback runner, and he scored a lot of touchdowns, as did John Riggins, and they won a lot of games with these two running backs when they had them in their time. John Riggins, of course, played in the early 1980s, played on that first Super Bowl team that the Redskins had. You remember that iconic run that he ran against the Miami Dolphins? I'll most likely show you a picture of it later. Coming in at number 3, the number 3 running back of all time for the Washington Commanders, Larry Brown, number 43, known for his ability to run with physicality and led the league in rushing yards in 1970. Number 4, number 48, Stephen Davis, who played in the late 1990s for the then Washington Redskins, was a key part of the 1990s backfield and accumulating 5,790 rushing yards. He probably would have had more because he played with the Carolina Panthers before he came over to the Redskins. Stephen Davis was a big, bruising running back that could bulldoze and run you over. Number 5, coming in at number 5, number 46, Alfred Morris, surprised many with his rookie season performance. He played with RG3 during the early 2010s, and he surprised his rookie season. He ran for 1,613 yards in his rookie year and 13 touchdowns. And I'm not sure if that's a rookie record for a running back for the Washington franchise, but it would most likely be interesting if it was. Okay. Now, let's take time for another commercial break. Kim's Burgers, cooked in bacon grease with cheese and bacon, tomatoes, and lots of bacon stacked underneath. White wine, mustard to complement the burger meat. Is so good. This will never get chopped. This is a prime time burger, better than McDonald's, better than Hardee's, better than Whataburger. Too bad I won't tell you where to get it. You can email me. You can call me. You can even knock on my door. But you'll never get the delicious, deluxe Kim Burger. I would tell you where to go get it, but it's so good I can't give up the secret. Kim Burger. You'll never try it. Okay. Back to our show. We're going to go to the history portion of our segment. 1982. The Washington Redskins were under the second year stint of then coach Joe Gibbs. The first year they finished in 1981. The year before they finished 8-8 with a 500 record. They had started 0-5, and then Coach Joe Gibbs turned the season around and they started getting things in gear. 1982. The Washington Redskins had a strike-shortened season, where there were about 7 or 8 games that were missed because of the strike. However, they picked up the final half of the year, and they finished up with an 8-1 record. They were first in their division. They won the division. The Washington Redskins went on to the playoffs to defeat the Detroit Lions 31-7 in the first round. In the next divisional game, they beat the Minnesota Vikings 21-7. And that earned them, that punched their ticket. They played the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East championship game. The Redskins won that 31-17. They dominated. That punched their ticket to Pasadena, California, where the Washington Redskins had to face the no-name defense of the Miami Dolphins, or the Killer Bees as they called them back then. And what was a great game, the Washington Redskins finally came out on top. They dominated. They trailed 17-10. Then they turned the game around. They took over with their defense and the Redskins running game behind number 44, the Diesel, John Riggins, who ran 38 rushes for a career, for a Super Bowl record, 166 yards. And the rest is history. And the Washington Redskins defeated, in front of 100,000 fans, defeated the Miami Dolphins. And they went on to win Super Bowl 17. Picture there. 27-17. I saw that game. I was a teenager. I was rooting my team on. And the Washington Redskins did their thing. They won their first Super Bowl title. And they went on. They went on to win 2 more Super Bowls. Quarterback Joe Theismann was the quarterback of that game. The Redskins went on to win 2 more Super Bowls. 1988 Super Bowl 22 behind quarterback Mark Rypien. They defeated the Buffalo Bills. Super Bowl 26. 1992, the Washington Redskins 1988, the Washington Redskins defeated the Denver Broncos. Super Bowl 22, 42-10, and Super Bowl 26. 4 years later, 1992, the Washington Redskins defeated the Buffalo Bills 37-24. Mark Rypien was the quarterback. Mark Rypien won the MVP honors. Doug Williams won the MVP honors in Super Bowl 22. And John Riggins won the Super Bowl MVP honors in 1982. So this year, the Washington Commanders schedule is as follows. I'm going to read that to you, and I'm going to do all the score predictions. So, a lot of tough games this year on their list that they have. Starting September 7th, they play the New York Giants. They play at home. September 11th, they play at the Green Bay Packers. September 21st, they play the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. September 28th, they play at the Atlanta Falcons. October 5th, at the LA Chargers. October 13th, they play Chicago Bears on a Monday night. That'll be a rematch of that Hail Mary game from last year. October 19th, they play at the Dallas Cowboys, the arch enemy. October 27th, they play at the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be a tough game. November 2nd. November 2nd, they play the Seattle Seahawks, the Detroit Lions at home, Seattle at home. November 11th, November 16th, they're going to play in Madrid overseas against the Miami Dolphins international game. That'll be an early game, like a 9:30 game. Week 12 will be a bye week. November 30th, they play the Denver Broncos. December 7th, they play at the Minnesota Vikings. December 14th, they play at the New York Football Giants. December 20th, they play at home against their arch rivals, the Philadelphia Eagles. Looking forward to that game. Revenge game. December 25th, on Christmas Day, the Washington Commanders play at home against the Dallas Cowboys. That'll be a 1 o'clock game. And the last game of the year will be at Philadelphia. There is no date as of now, so it will be announced sooner than later. So, Washington Commanders will first play the New York Giants. Washington Commanders will first play the New York Giants, and my prediction for that game will be 20-6. Washington will win that game. Their defense will dominate. The Giants are still not a good team. The next week against the Green Bay Packers at Green Bay, Washington, I predict them to win that game 23-10. My reasoning, Jayden Daniels and the offense of the Washington Commanders will be too much, I believe, in my opinion, for the Green Bay Packers to handle. The next week, they play the Raiders. They play the Las Vegas Raiders, and they will win that game 28-7. At Atlanta, Washington will win 31-3. LA Chargers, they'll beat them at their place 27-13. That'll put their record at 5-0. Chicago, Monday night, revenge game for Chicago, but they will not get revenge. My Commanders will win 27-14. Jayden Daniels will be dominant, as well as the defense. Dallas Cowboys, 21-10. We will beat our arch nemesis in their place. At Kansas City, this is the only game of the year that I think we will fall short. And I said 23-20 in a close game. It's only because it's at Kansas City. Seattle, we will beat them. We will beat them 30-6. Yeah, we will beat the Seattle Seahawks 30-6. We play at Detroit. We will beat the Detroit Lions. And I say that game will be 34-17. It's a home game. The Miami Dolphins. We play against the Miami Dolphins in Madrid. I say we will defeat the Miami Dolphins. The score of that game will be 19-9. Excuse me. Was just checking on something. Then the next week is a bye week. Then they come back against the Denver Broncos. We will win that game 22-3. All defense in that one. The Vikings play the Minnesota Vikings. That game will be 31-7, play at Minnesota. Then we play the New York Football Giants in their place. We win 17-13. Tough division game. We will win that. We play the Eagles at Northwest Stadium at home. We will win that game by 1 point, 14-13. I believe it will be a defensive struggle, back and forth, but Washington will prevail in that game. Play the Cowboys. Play the Dallas Cowboys on Christmas Day. We win that game 29-7. Dominant offense, defense. And then we have one more game against these pesky Eagles. There's our team. We play one more game against these pesky Eagles. We win 17-14 in a close one in Philadelphia. And I'm just going to say this. This is a new year. This is a brand new season. I believe that the Eagles have lost some key players. They still have a dominant roster. But I'm just going to go on record and say that we're going to pull this game out. We're going to win this game. And we're going to return. We're going to have a good season. I said that we're going to go 17-1. I'm calling it now. 16-1, 17-1. I think they play 18 games. I'm going to say 17-1, whatever. We're going to go to the playoffs. And our Commanders are going to do the doggone thing. I believe that we're going to go all the way to the Super Bowl. Looking forward to that. And I believe that once again, that it's going to be the Eagles against us in the Super Bowl. Once again, I believe that. I believe it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles against the Washington Commanders in the NFC Championship game for the right to go to the Super Bowl. And this year, it's going to be a different story. This time, they're going to have to come here to Washington and play us. And this time, we're going to be the ones that's going to be dominant. We're going to be the ones that's going to win by a lopsided score. We're the ones that's going to celebrate in front of them. And we're going to go to the Super Bowl. And we're going to win. So with that said, I'm going to end this show. Thank you guys for joining us once again. Love you guys. Part 2 is going to be coming up. We're going to be discussing just a minute. Part 2 is going to be coming up. We're going to be discussing the defensive line. And we're going to have a really good show. We're going to be looking at other things. So, with that said, thank you guys for joining us. Once again, on the Washington Commanders Football Show, I am your host, Football Freak Freddy. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys part 2 Saturday. We talk about the defensive line. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys have a good one. And I'll see you guys soon. Peace.